G'day there guys, relationship guru Markee here. Welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. Now I suck at relationships, so I can't really give too much advice myself, but I can give you whatever the OP and the people talking to OP in the comments have to say about relationships. Now if you like this video, I want you to smack that like button, subscribe down below if you haven't already, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Thank you. Posted by user Angela Flies. Titled, Security guard at work costs me my girlfriend. So I, 24, work at Walmart. Have been for the past 4 years. I do register and stock shelves, the usual. Around the end of my 3rd year, we hired more security guards to help around Black Friday, because some quit right before it, so we were short-handed. Nothing unusual. As I'm considering leaving the job in early March for a better paying opportunity that I've been eyeing for a while, there's a girl at this job who I've known for a while, and we finally decided to go out a few times around November. We hung out pretty often, and she, 22, was aware of my plans to leave, and was excited for my promotion. Some people at work saw us leave together, and probably had assumptions, and we only talked to a few people there, and only a handful of them would we call friends. Only she knew about the other job opportunity, and as I kept my eye on it, it looked promising, as my resume was advancing through certain stages very gradually. But that's when the trouble started. One of the security guards who came around Black Friday of last year was very politically active May of this year with everything that was happening. I talked to a lot of people casually about various things while stocking. Some of the security guards too, as they made their rounds about video games and stuff like that. Never politics. Personally, I don't talk about politics at work, and if people ask me, I tell them the same thing. However, as some of the people I know were talking about it at work, I minded my own business and just did my job. Not because I don't care, but because I, personally, prefer to just go to work. However, one day, in late December of 2020, a security guard who we'll call Tom was making the rounds, and asked to talk to me about something. We talked about games before, so I was used to talking to him, and so was she and a few of my friends. He proceeded to ask me why I seemed intent on avoiding conversations or leaving whenever people started talking about the political movements going on, to which I told him what I stated earlier before, my policy for not talking about politics at work. I don't know what prompted him to ask me about that then, in December. But he and a few others usually talk politics at work, so it was a pretty constant thing that I avoided, for context. I told him that I respect him for voicing his opinion, and welcome anyone else who does, and that I might listen occasionally, but refrain from talking about it myself, and might leave sometimes, so that I'm not just listening and not contributing anything at all, which just feels weird. He then left, and I went back to stocking. A few days later though, he came around again, and began talking to me about video games and such. Totally cool. However, after a moment, he quickly transitions into asking me why I'm cool with playing The Last of Us 2, which promotes transgender themes, and not talking about my own heritage at work. I didn't feel comfortable answering, so I repeated my policy and tried to change the subject, but then he proceeded to tell me that I'm not black for dodging the issue. I didn't say anything back, and he just walked away. I debated bringing it up to a manager, but decided to next time if it happened again. However, a few days later, I realized that my girl has stopped messaging me altogether whenever I ask her what time to bring her home, or for my schedule that she usually would send me. I decide to go to work on my off day to get my schedule myself, and when I see her, I come over and say hi like usual, but she ignores me and asks me to leave so that she can focus on the customer she is ringing. I was surprised, but left to get my schedule and decided to say hi again before I left. But the same thing happened. She ignored me, and when I asked what was up, she turned on her light to call for a supervisor and told them that I was bothering her. I was confused, so I decided to leave despite the supervisor recognizing me and realizing that something was up. I then call a friend outside, who doesn't talk to her because he works in the back, but I knew him before she came on, and told him what was up, and he provided some insight that I was surprised to hear. He tells me that Tom told someone that I had scolded him for voicing his political beliefs, and someone else told my friend, a supervisor that he was close with, that he also went to HR and told them things about me that weren't true. Thus, it probably got back to my girl and some of our friends, and now they won't talk to me. And she hasn't for 2 weeks either. What should I do about this situation as a whole? It's been hard to focus at work, and my friends tell me that I should try to fight the accusation in hopes of proving to her that he lied. But some of my other friends tell me that I should forget her, if she's going to ignore me for something like that without requesting clarification or calling me to discuss a rumor. Honestly, I'm torn and just in need of some advice. Honestly, my advice is, don't date in your own backyard, and that girl is immature. Like, even if you scolded him, that's your opinion. You both have the right to voice your own opinion in any situation, so I'd say forget the girl and clear your name as an FU to everyone. Yes, clear your name always. Do not ever accept when people lie about you because it might come back later to bite you in the ass. Again. But yes, once your name is cleared, forget about the ex because if she didn't come to you to get your side, she's not worth it. If your girlfriend doesn't communicate with you, if she believes random people and doesn't come to you with questions, she's definitely not someone you can plan on having a future with. She's no good. Keep your nose down, do your job, and get out of there when you can. And this dude didn't cost you your girlfriend. She made a choice. He's an asshole, and she is too, but for different reasons. The boy Thunderdome suggests, why don't you voice what actually happened? I'm honestly debating it, asking some friends for advice too, and the best way to go about it. But I just wanted to get some advice here too, just to hear as many opinions as I can before making an educated decision from many perspectives. My advice is really, 1. Your girlfriend sounds like she trusts the word of people she doesn't know better than she knows you. 2. Security guard sounds like a tramp. 3. Don't let yourself become the victim because someone else doesn't respect your boundaries for work. And 4. Tell your manager and HR. Your side, your disdain for talking political matters at work, and whatever pertinent information that would make it so you weren't in the wrong. Because I agree. I think if we talk politics at work, it could unknowingly create animosity if someone else doesn't agree. And now on to the update. Some advice I received was to talk to HR myself, so I did, since I figured I had nothing to lose. I told them my side of the story, and they took notes and had me sign my statement at the end, promising to go over it. Before I get to the follow-up, my friends at the job continued to avoid me for the next 2-ish weeks, along with the security guard who started everything in the first place. When I went to HR though, I told them about how he would always approach me during his security walks, along with the specifics of what he said, and nothing else. No fluff, just facts, as I had a notepad ready beforehand. I also received advice to try and message my girlfriend after speaking to HR, along with telling her my side of the story in the same text. Although some people said that perhaps I had dodged a bullet, if she's the type of person to take the word of others as truth before even consulting me. In the days following my last post, I continued to talk to my buddy at the job, the only one who really talks to me anymore. He said that some people still think that I said a bunch of things disapproving the security guard's outspokenness about the protests, which has some of them labeling me as things that still aren't true. And it sucks. I didn't love this job, but I had a lot of decent acquaintances that made me look forward to coming sometimes, along with the occasional funny and memorable conversation. However, 2 weeks since my last post, and my girlfriend said nothing only until a few days ago. Checking the calendar, it's been about 17 days, and she sends me a random text at around 11 p.m.ish at night, asking if I want to talk, and nothing else. I didn't respond, and that is mostly because I want to write this update first and hear some opinions. Although my friend at work says she sounds unenthusiastic and unsympathetic, but I wanted to just get some more opinions here just to be sure. In regards to the follow-up with HR, they told me that they spoke with him and to tell them again if something similar comes up. It wasn't much, and they said they kept everything anonymous, but I feel like crap with all of my work friends not talking to me, and the security guard actually approached me in the back room one night. He asked me if I ratted him out, and I told him what if I did. He said he knew I did, and told me to not F with him if I knew what was good for me. He's older than me, probably in his 30s. Before leaving, he also called me white trash. I considered telling HR, but I figured, what was the point? I'll be leaving soon, but I need this job for a few months until my new one says I can start. And the toll it's taking has been real difficult, not to mention the uncertainty of the way my girlfriend's been treating me. I want to respond soon, but just wanted to write this first. I have a feeling that anyone who reads this will tell me to move on, and that's my gut feeling too. But I'm open to your honest opinions and gut punches if need be. I'd love to quit now, but with a pandemic and the scarcity in jobs, I can't really afford to do that. You need to go to HR and tell them what he did. That is harassment. Secondly, your girlfriend is worthless if she believes some random dude at work over her boyfriend. She's trash, and you're better off without her. A real partner would have had your back, or at least effing talk to you first before making up her mind. OP replies, I talked to HR once. They said they talked to him after taking my statement and told me to tell them again if anything similar happened. Would it be worth it to go back to them, considering nothing really happened the first time, although the first time wasn't over a threat? I'm leaning towards it, now that you mention it since the circumstances are different, but just wanted to ask for certain clarification. This is called retaliation and is a big effing deal. Any smart workplace will want this nipped in the bud as it opens them to lawsuits. Just to refresh you, guard kept engaging in topics you found uncomfortable after being told to stop, filed a false report against you, spread malicious gossip about you, and threatened you. This is a big deal. Report him. After reading many insightful comments, I will do for sure. Not really a confrontational person, as someone else was also able to point out, but I agree that it's necessary. Really appreciate you putting it into such an obvious and easy way to see. Always remember what HR told you. They asked you to contact them again if he does something for a reason. They have more experience with this situation than you, so please listen to what they say and talk to them. Regarding your girlfriend, I would advise you to talk to her. Call her and let her speak, at least to just get some closure or to end it officially. This limbo you're in with her will do you no good. And good luck. Commented after your update, she's not your girlfriend anymore, not the way she's been treating you. She's ghosting you and has not got the guts to break up with you. This is becoming a hostile workplace. Get out as soon as you can. We'll probably end up doing so, sooner rather than later. I have some money saved, although I would have preferred to stay with no drama, since my other job that I've been wanting to call me back finally did. But I have to wait a little bit until I can come in, since someone is transitioning out of the position. But I should be able to maintain myself for a while if I have to, and I'm leaning towards it more with each coming day. Could stick it out, but Walmart, to me personally, isn't a career job, and I don't think it's worth the additional stress. As someone who has worked at Walmart for 3 years before I quit, I just wanted to say that you should stick it out as long as you can, and save as much money as you can, but do not be afraid to quit early. Especially if they aren't helping resolve your issue with the security guard, and knowing the Walmart I was at, they probably won't do anything. If you quit early before starting your new job, just make sure you do a really thorough budget and make sure you'll be able to pay all your bills. Try to limit spending during this time of limbo between jobs as much as possible. Eat really cheap and only buy the necessities. If your quote-unquote girlfriend doesn't talk to you for 17 days because of some rumors, then it doesn't sound like she's your girlfriend. Best of luck to you. Posted by user throwaway246813572. Titled, My 29 male, soon-to-be ex-husband seems to feel entitled to another chance with me. My husband and I have been together for almost 8 years, married for 2.5 of those. Last May, 2019, we separated seemingly overnight. He left me and our toddler and moved back to his hometown. There was never a solid reason given, just that he felt that we should have never gotten married. In July, he changed his tune and wanted to be a family again. He was still at his job in his hometown, so I decided I would ride it out at my job in a different city for a couple of months to build my resume, and then start looking for other jobs in his hometown. After 6 months of a brutal commute, taking care of our child during the week by myself, and driving to his hometown every weekend, interviewing, basically bending over backwards, I finally landed a great job in December. A week before I was to move into the new house we were buying together and start my new job, I found out he had been having an affair. He begged and pleaded for me to stay with him, said he'd break off all contact, and I foolishly agreed to give him another chance. 2 days later, while I was back in the different city and completing my last week of work at my old job, he unblocked her on everything and liked her pictures on Instagram. I was devastated. On top of that crap show, he kicked me out of the house we were supposed to move in together, and I had to find a new place to live 2 days before starting my new position. We have lived separately ever since. He has said and done so many hateful things in this time period, and said so many times that he wants a divorce, that I've lost count. Up until a month ago, he was still maintaining contact with her. I saw her car at his house, took pictures for the lawyers, etc., and he admitted he had been talking with her still. I stopped doing the pick me dance about a month ago and stopped reaching out to him besides to contact about our child. Now he's suddenly changed his tune and is desperate to get me back and will do anything. He has unfollowed her on everything, unliked all her pictures, tells me not to give up on our family. I've moved on. I'm not interested in pursuing another relationship with him. He's hurt me deeply, and I feel like I've been screwed over by him so many times that I've lost count. How can I tell him there isn't a chance without sounding like a completely heartless person? I still want to be able to maintain a strong co-parenting relationship with him, so I'm friendly to him. But he seems to take that as I want him back. I have relayed to him my feelings, but they fall on deaf ears. He says he will never stop trying to get our family back together and does not want a divorce. I do. Does anyone have any advice? And edited to add, just to show the kind of person he is, when I asked him about the reason for his sudden change of heart, he said it was because I seemed stronger. Ah, the irony. Honestly, a big thank you to the prick for yanking the rug under my feet not once, but twice, because I truly have realized how much better I can do, and how I don't need anyone but myself to have a happy life. Second edit, seriously, thank you to everyone who has read my story and commented. You have no idea how much it's helping me to focus on myself, and realize I need to stop considering the feelings of someone who had no consideration of mine. I only hope that anyone who is in a similar situation realizes that you can and you do move on. And I promise that you will feel like a 10,000-pound weight has been lifted off your back. And third edit, he's being served papers in the next 1 to 2 weeks. Guarantee the "I've changed" mask slips off. I hope I'm wrong, but I've learned all too well that my gut feelings are usually spot on. Hopefully I'll be back with an update in a few months with the good news that the split is official. And in the comments, Olivia Prestane says, "You are not heartless for being direct about your feelings, and even if you were, why would you be so careful about his feelings when he cares so little for yours? You need a lawyer to come up with a custody agreement. You do not need to be friendly with him to co-parent effectively. You just need to be cordial and not disparage him in front of your children. If OP is heartless, it's only because ex-husband smashed it over and over and over again. He only has himself to blame." And OP says, "Thank you, thank you, thank you. I needed to hear that. Talk to a lawyer and file for divorce. When he'll get the papers to sign, he will understand that you two are done. That's not heartless, that's taking care of you and your child. He caused too much pain. You have the right to feel free from his lies. Divorce and get a custody agreement. Getting divorce papers doesn't necessarily indicate to the other person that you are done. I've been divorced for 6 years, and my ex still refuses to believe it's valid, even though he was in the courtroom at the time that it was signed by the judge. X-Tlo says, my ex feels entitled to a relationship with me. Filed under, how awesome for him. See also, no is a complete answer. You're concerned about appearing like a heartless person to someone who not only acted heartlessly to you, but abandoned your child. Stop giving consideration and concern to people who have gone out of their way to give you neither. Here's what you tell him. Trust is one of the most important aspects of a relationship, and you have destroyed my ability to ever trust you. There can be no more chances because there is no more trust. If you want to prove yourself trustworthy, do it by being a good father, and prove it to our child because the only future relationship we have is co-parents. Thank you so much for this. I need nothing but brutal honesty right now. If you can't do it for you, do it for your kid. Teach them that kindness does not mean tolerating cruelty. Exactly this. Often parents think the key to good parenting is sacrifice, when in reality, the key to good parenting is modeling for your children how to survive. I listened to a great podcast a couple days ago that captures this sentiment perfectly. Your children do not need you to save them. Your children need to watch you save yourself. You've got this, OP. And now on to the update. Well, turns out my gut instincts were right. The entire time he was begging for another chance and promising this time would be different, eye roll, he was still sleeping with the affair partner and telling him he loved her and would do anything to make it work with her. It didn't even hurt me to find it out. I was that unsurprised. It just helped me stop feeling guilty, and I divorced his ass. I thank the universe every day that he is no longer connected to me in a romantic way. It feels like an enormous weight has been lifted off of my shoulders. Shortly after my original post, I met someone by chance at a wedding and fell in love. This person is everything my ex-husband was not. The kindness, compassion, and respect they show not just me, but to my daughter as well, is like something from a dream. I never knew love could be so easy. To anyone in a loveless marriage reading this, leave. Do the hard thing, especially if they have a pattern of leaving and returning and cheating, etc. Lord knows I was terrified to cut the cord. At one point in time, I was actually starting to feel bad for the guy because he was begging me every single day for another chance. He tried to convince me that getting a divorce would ruin my future, our daughter's future, that she would come from a broken family. But it was the exact opposite. It was broken already, and I fixed it. Once I made up my mind that divorce was the best option, I absolutely thrived. I learned independence. I found how to be happy on my own. I found happiness in a partner. Life has never been so sweet. The bad crap makes the good crap so much better. Thank you, Reddit, for the support of my original post. It helped me turn my graveyard into a garden. In the comments, Makeza says, I wish all the other people coming to this Reddit to ask for advice on relationships like yours reads this and it encourages them to end it. We are all so proud of you. Out of childish curiosity, can I ask if the girl he was dating is still with him, or what kind of twisted version of the story between you two he tells her? I always find it so funny when they make up that their wife is evil, or when the affair girl breaks up with them. It's funny you asked that. She actually reached out to me and apologized. I didn't care one way or another. I view her as a blessing in a weird way. Had it not been for her, I probably would still be with him, walking on eggshells and trying to show love to a person who didn't deserve the time of day from me. During her apology, she asked if he still reached out to me. I said he was begging every day. She then sung like a bird and said he was still with her. From what I understand, I desperately tried hard not to know details because that would imply that I actually gave a crap. She broke it off with him. I was weirdly proud of her because she seemed pretty desperate for love. I felt something like pity for her. However, she got back with him. She reached out to me about a month ago and told me she found him on Bumble while he was over at her house. Some people never learn. Yes, I know it's weird that the woman who caused my divorce texts me from time to time, but like I said, I'm glad it happened, and she's likely the reason I'm so happy today, as bizarre as it sounds. And edit, I don't want to misconstrue things. She's not the reason I'm happy today, I am. I just credit her with a role in it because had she not been in the picture, who knows where I'd be today. Did she know he was married at the time of getting with him? She did. She's definitely not a friend, but I don't have any hard feelings. I'm not investing mental energy into hating someone. It's exhausting and serves no purpose but for someone to live in your mind rent-free. Sponoog says, I'm happy it worked out for you. Now the real difficult work begins. Not letting his dishonesty and cheating make you eternally distrustful towards others. That is the after effect of infidelity that people don't talk about enough, and the real damage that a cheating partner can do to you. And OP replies, while you're absolutely right, I think that my ex-husband is a special case. There is something very disturbing about the extremely detailed lies and flawlessly executed performances he conducted to convince me he was deserving of a second chance. I'm in therapy, and my therapist labeled him a narcissistic sociopath. I'm not a bitter person, so I hope he finds what he's looking for one day, and God bless the girl who ends up with him. But it will never be me. This entire experience has proven to me that I don't need anyone but myself to be happy. Spouses and partners should just add to the happiness. They should never be relied on for the source of the happiness. Yes, it's a healthy realization. I just know how difficult it can be to properly trust or commit after such an experience, and it's something to be conscious of in the future. It sounds like you've got it covered. Oh, I'll be the first to tell you I've definitely carried over some trauma. After going through something like that, it's only natural to second-guess myself from time to time. I'm thankful that my partner understands that. He is totally transparent. I've never asked him to be, he just is, and I have full faith he's the kind and caring person I perceive him to be. G'day there guys, and that's the end of today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed it and were entertained by today's bloody good content. As always, I want to do a quick shout out and a thank you to all my channel members and Patreon subscribers. Your beautiful faces and names will be up on screen right now. Haven't forgot about you guys, sorry I was taking a little break there. So yeah, if you see yourself, give yourself a pat on the back. If you want to be on this screen, there's links down to the description below where you can sign up and help support the channel and all future projects that I'm going to be doing on this one. With all that said, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to. I'll see you in the next episode, and I do hope you enjoy it. Thank you.